Hey, it's Friday, and I am back with another new episode of Turn the Paige podcast. I am your host, Paige, and I'm just going to lay it all out for you this week. The train has derailed. It has flown completely off the tracks, and I am barreling behind it, sprinting, trying to catch up. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm about to tell you, because in this episode, we are going to unpack the crazy that summer has been, the fact that school has started, and the last 2 months feel like they have been moving in fast forward. I have been met head on with disappointment, burnout, a mental tank on complete empty, while also simultaneously having so much fun and joy and excitement happening in my life. And I feel like the duality of all of that has really made things a complete tailspin. And I also feel like that duality is something that so many of us are going through and experiencing right now in this time. Because, I feel this way every year between July and August. And summer doesn't normally feel like much of a break, especially this one, but it's like we crave it. We wait and we count down, and we want it to be summer so that we can sleep in and things can be more relaxed, and we don't have these schedules that we have to adhere to. And then we get there and there's still schedules, or there's still appointments or camps or whatever it is. It's just like all mixed up and jumbled throughout the calendar. And then we start craving the normalcy of routine and what school brings to us and gives to us. So it's literally all over the board. I understand that. I'll be the first to admit that. And I think that as we embark on another school year, it's just so nice to be able to sit down, pause, and reflect and find some stillness in this transition. It's the exact reason why I had to take a break last week, because I needed a moment to just breathe. And I couldn't articulate my own thoughts, let alone jump on here and attempt to coherently express them to all of you. And I'm not really sure I'm still able to depict them properly, but we're going to give it one hell of a shot. The summer has been full of vacations, birthdays, holidays, camping, swimming lessons, sleepovers, volleyball camps, volleyball practices, fair, all of the things on top of the usual typical life stuff: work, podcast, writing, grocery shopping, cleaning, laundry, and so on. And as I was like in autopilot, just trucking through, trying to get through all of these things, I also decided to take on a new passion project that includes petition organization and school board meetings and meetings with the superintendent, phone calls, extra emails, and energy. And even though I'm so grateful to be a part of these things, I'm so grateful that, I'm in this position to be able to give so much of myself to so many things that I am passionate about. I feel like I exhausted myself to the point that I couldn't hardly see straight. And I know that that's something that's so relatable and so familiar to all of us, because this world that we live in is go, 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 push, 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 force, 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 onto the next thing, onto the next thing, onto the next thing. And we have to actively choose to stop it. We have to actively choose to be still, to be in the moment, to be present. And that's really hard, especially when life is happening around us. We have things on the calendar. Our dog gets injured. The kids get sick. We have to do school shopping and registration and fill out the 17 online forms so that our kids can play sports and show up at school on the first day. Things change, things happen, people get new jobs, schedules have to change. And that is just a part of life. I feel like that chaos is something that we are going to always encounter, no matter what. It doesn't matter how much we've healed. It doesn't matter how grounded we are. It doesn't matter how together our life is or how successful that we are. We are going to have moments in time where life steamrolls us a bit. Like I said, the train rolls off the tracks and we're sprinting behind it like, hey, wait for me. I'm not a runner, okay? But I personally have found it so hard to be present because I'm continuously thinking 10 steps ahead. And yet my brain feels as if it's left my body and can't integrate any kind of organization, action into the existence of our day. And that is probably the most frustrating part. I remember the other morning, I literally started packing my lunch, went and brushed my teeth, came back and finished my breakfast, went and got dressed, finished packing my lunch, and I watched my ADHD brain go in full force. And even though I was aware that it was happening, it felt like I couldn't do anything to stop it because things just felt so chaotic, and not in a bad or harsh way, but just in a chaotic way. And, it got me thinking. It got me thinking, imagine that, because there's 8,000 thoughts that go through my brain before noon. But one thing that I've been noticing lately is that I don't have to continuously force myself through it, because that's what I do. I'm someone who has this fiery spirit and this grit, and that has all seen me through some shit. It's something that I'm proud of. It's something that has, given me this confidence and this empowerment to know that no matter what life throws at me, I'm going to be okay, because I know that I'm going to be sure that I'm going to be okay. My healing journey has given me that. My intuition has given me that. My connection with God has given me that. My relationships around me has given me that. And again, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful gift. And it's really helped me to push my life to this place, to where it is, to where I feel excited about who I am and what I'm doing and what I'm creating. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with burnout, defeat, frustration, exhaustion. And there are times where I have to put that in check, because I feel like I'm pushing myself so hard just so I can control it all, when in reality, it's all just starting to control me. And so thankfully, having self-awareness, having people and a support system around me to talk these things through with, I can really reel it back. And it doesn't mean that I do it right away, but it means that I'm willing to take the steps needed so that I can stop being in such contrast to life all the time, because that's what exhausts us. The contrast of life, that's what wears us down and wears us out, because we push and we force and we're trying to barrel through it when it's no, yeah, life is going to get hard. It's going to get chaotic. It's going to get messy, but we don't have to barrel through it. We don't have to push and force through it. We can just allow it to be a little crazy and messy sometimes, because when we are forcing, then we can get reactive and then we can just wear ourselves down even faster. I had a moment last week where I snapped at both of the girls unnecessarily. I mean, kind of unnecessarily. I did ask Macy to do her chores 4 times, and Presley was having a meltdown over brushing her teeth, which is, kid stuff. But it was unnecessary in the way it came out. And I kind of had to check myself on that. And that was when all of these thoughts started coming in and filtering in, and these feelings of okay, this isn't necessarily about them. It's about me. It's about how I'm feeling. It's the fact that I'm dysregulated. I'm sliding into survival mode. I'm functioning on autopilot, and my intuition, my spirit is screaming like, this isn't the way that we want to live. And what I realized from all of that, it wasn't stemming from them not listening. It was stemming from me not listening to myself and feeling so exhausted from all of the events of the last few months. And I hit my wall. I mean, how human is that? We all do it. We all hit our wall because we all have one. And we have to slow down, but we have to choose it because, again, if not, life's just going to keep going. It's going to keep moving. Time is not slowing down for us. So we have to be the ones to pump the brakes. We have to be the ones to give ourselves grace. And more than that, it also feels like this belief that I've created over the last few years that if I don't get it all done right now, it's never going to happen. And I had to take a look at that. Like, this belief that I had that if I don't chase my dreams right now, or if I don't get all my shit together right now, if I don't create space in my life to heal or for self-care or for my purpose and my passion, that I'm never going to have it again. And that is a reaction to the years of my life that I spent abandoning myself. It's not because I don't have the time. It's not because I can't make the time in my day-to-day life, but it's coming from this reactive place because I spent so many years taking care of myself out of shame and self-abandoning for all of the people around me. And I don't do that anymore. I don't abandon myself. I don't, you know, people please to the point where I lose who I am at my core. I know who she is. I'm learning more about who she is. I'm learning more about what she needs to feel good and how that changes in every season, and what she needs to feel loved and who she needs to surround herself with, and how she wants to interact with the world and how she wants to be of service, and all of these beautiful things in a purposeful, passionate way. But I don't want to grip onto my life so tightly that I forget to live it. I understand why I do it. It's because I don't want to forget myself. I don't want to forget myself. But I don't have to swing to the opposite side of the pendulum to do that. And so it's really easy sometimes too to understand, like, okay, my self-care is now becoming a job. It doesn't feel like self-care. It feels like a box that I'm checking because I feel like I have to. It can very easily slide into shame once again. And so it's like this constant reflection, this constant self-awareness, this constant, ability to be able to tap in and tune in with what we need right now. What's the next right thing? And focusing on that, even when it's really freaking hard. Because this existence, this life, is an ebb and a flow. It's not all meant to be so serious all of the time. And it's not all supposed to be, fleeting and purposeless. Like, we're supposed to have both. We're supposed to have purpose, but we're supposed to have fun and joy and lightness. And we are literally just these beings on a rock floating around in space. Well, there's millions and billions of other people doing the same exact thing on the same rock all around us. And I don't know, it's become more about this understanding of how we coexist with ourselves in the world, and how we take up space, and how that changes, and how we can't do it all of the time. I've really believed for the last few years that I have to, or I'll disappear again. And that hyperfixation, that control, really turns into exhaustion and numbness. And so what do I learn from it? How do I come back? How do I circle back and remember why it all started? Remember what my purpose is and why I'm here and why I show up to do this podcast. why I show up to, work at the salon and work with the clients that I do, and why I want to build beautiful relationships with my family and my kids and my friends. And it all comes down to the intention with which you choose to live. And that, that intention being done with purpose is what makes all of the difference. When you take care of yourself, you're doing it with intention, not with shame or not with the notion of checking the box. It's with the intention of loving yourself, of taking up space in your life. When you intentionally choose to spend time with your kids, it's not distracted by the phone or criticizing them on not keeping their room clean, or when you're with your friends and you're present and you're joyful and you're laughing, and it's the expression of being all that you are. It's allowing yourself to be open to this life. And even when it's hard, even when it's chaotic, even when you feel exhausted, giving yourself, the permission to say no, giving yourself exactly what you need. Maybe that's a day on the couch binge watching a show. Maybe that's reading a book. Maybe that's just going for a walk. It doesn't have to be complicated, but I think we make it so complicated. And I just find myself lately trying to uncomplicate it. And the only way that I can do that, the only way that that happens is if I take my hands off the wheel. I stop sprinting after the train and just be where my feet are. And even though that this summer has been crazy and I've felt nearly disoriented by it, I've spent so much time with friends and family. I got to laugh, I got to have fun, I got to travel, I got to go dancing. I got to have movie nights with my kids and great conversations and learning experiences with them. I got to cuddle my dog and read and do so many of the things that bring me joy. And I don't know, it's just this attempt at balance. It's embracing that duality, whether it comes with the way we care for ourselves versus others, or the way that we view the things in life that we have or we wish to acquire. It's in the way that we treat ourselves that we will treat those around us, even if we don't realize it. If we find ourselves judging, criticizing, projecting onto the outside world, it's probably because we're doing that internally. We find ourselves loving, embracing, and accepting who we are, then it's going to be so much easier for us to do that to the people around us, no matter who they are and how they show up. It's easy for us to love others when we love ourselves. It's easy to appreciate others when we appreciate ourselves. And it's easy to show grace when we've given it to ourselves first. But it's also easy to resent other people if we are resenting the way that we are not taking care of ourselves, or if we're doing it out of shame. And it's easy to push others if we are pushing ourselves. When I find myself pushing through my own life, through what I need to get done or what I think I should get accomplished, I project that onto my kids. I push them. Okay, you need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. And sometimes it's just like stopping and be like, again, what's the intention with which we're doing this? What's it all for? Stop going through the motions and like take control back of your life so it stops controlling you, but not taking control of it in a way that has you in contrast with it. And I think that that's where that intention comes in. I think that that's where that self-awareness comes in. And, we're able to be more patient. We're able to be more present. We're able to be more purposeful. And it's in the way that we pursue what makes us passionate, but also recover from that output of energy. It's how we show up to create instead of constantly being distracted by our consumption. I know firsthand that it's like the minute I'm sliding into survival mode, the minute that I am going into autopilot, it's like distraction after distraction. And I pick up my phone so many times, and I hate that for myself, because I know that it's not helping how I'm feeling inside. And I don't know. It's so much about the intention in which we choose to live instead of the motions that we go through to make it through the day. And I think with that reminder in the back of our minds, with the awareness of that pattern, we can recognize so much faster when we're depleted, tired, worn down, and in need of a freaking break. Because we don't set ourselves up for success with accomplishing things out of force, out of a place that's depleted, whether it's parenting, whether it's passion projects, hobbies, work, relationships. All of those things are affected. And the duality of all of it is still freaking confusing sometimes. And I think that that's what's frustrating to me. It's like, because I know, but then while I'm in it, I'm just in it. I'm just in it. But, I have to remind myself, like, this is the first time that I am experiencing life through this new lens. This is the first time that I am experiencing life with the understanding and the awareness of the duality of it. And I think that it's important to remind myself of that so that, I can experience each side of the spectrum of life and embracing the duality of the summer. We've had a lot of fun, but have become exhausted by being gone so much. We have been involved, but also needing a break from the whole peopling thing. We desperately need a routine, but kind of dreaded that school was starting. I don't necessarily have the answers for much of this. Like I said, I feel like my brain's kind of been chaotic, and I figured, what the hell? Let's jump on here and share the chaos with people that I know are also experiencing chaos. And I don't necessarily know how to see it all the way through, but I'm trying. I'm showing up. I'm reflecting. I'm learning. And I think that that's the most important part. I think that's the way through. Each lesson, each season of life teaches us something. And I'll catch up. I'll get there. That train's going to slow down and let me jump back on because I'm going to choose to. Especially today was like, allowing myself to just be, giving myself a moment to just catch my breath and let it all be okay. Despite the fact that I have a mountain of laundry staring at me on the floor that needs to be folded, and that there's dirty dishes in the sink, I'll get to them, but I'm not going to let them scream at me today. Life is not meant to be hard. When it starts to become hard, it means that we're in contrast with it. And it means that we're not listening. It means that we're not being intentional. I didn't say that life couldn't be chaotic or messy. I said life is not meant to be hard. And when it becomes hard and when you realize you're in that contrast, it means that you are moving at the whims of the world. And you are going to experience that. We all are. But what I do know, even if I don't have all of the answers, what I do know is that every time life sweeps me off my feet and barrels me down the path of survival, I learn something about myself along the way. Every single time. It never fails. What have I learned now? That I have time. That this moment is the only one that I should be focused on. That my mindset about the things that I get to experience in this life can be perceived in a way that moves me forward instead of spinning on my wheels. It's not always easy, but it can become more effortless if I stop trying to control the direction that life is trying to take me on. So if life currently has you by the balls and the train is barreling down the tracks, I just want you to know that you are not alone and that you are worthy of taking a break, a breath, if that is what is needed. This life is evolving faster than ever, and it's only human for us to need a moment to catch up. So, I want you to remember what is meant for you will never leave you. And I hope that if you found this podcast randomly or you show up every week to listen, you see how much magic there is in sharing the vulnerable parts of your story. It's what brings us together. It's what connects us. It's what allows us to know that this life is so damn beautiful, even when it's crazy. I love you all so much. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.